Welcome. I'm glad you're here. And let's get our bodies warmed up. So we're going to start in our standing position with the feet about hip distance wide. And throughout the class, I'm going to be bringing our attention to what's happening in the feet. And right now, just sort of notice, are you weighting your right foot and your left foot about the same? Just sort of shift your weight back and forth. Something under my foot there. Shift your weight back and forth and just get a sense of an evenness across each leg. And then just begin to slightly turn the shoulders. And of course, you're going to feel the slight twist going down into the legs probably as the shoulders start to turn and the arms start to sway out. And then we'll just continue this swaying movement. And you may feel different parts of the bottom of your foot getting pressured, more weight coming to one side or the other, which would be very natural. As the arms continue to swing, we can take it up into a rhythm, into an action that's really giving quite a movement, or you can keep it rather nice and slow and low. So we just create our movement in the way that suits us the best. All right, and then we let the arms come to a stop, and we start to take them forward, and we start to go backward. And this starts off, again, just notice where's the weight from the ball of the foot to the heel being placed. And if you'll notice, if you start to really push your arms downward, there's going to be a sort of a transfer. The weight of the body is going to kind of go forward, and so it would help us to rock the weight back onto the heels when the arms are moving backward. And that will help us counterbalance the effective movement of the arms if you're going to that kind of an effort with it, but you could just swing the arms lightly if you prefer. And then we're going to create the challenge to our balance. So let your knees softly bend, not very much bend. And with that soft bend, you rock your weight back to your heels, and then you find at what point in that do you lose your balance. And then you rock your weight forward toward your toes, and with the knees bent, at what point do you lose your balance enough? And I'm stepping forward, and you can too, or you can just feel that sense of balance. But we want to teach our body as we go forward to crouch when we are losing balance. Because right now, if I teach myself this, what my body will remember in the case of a real loss of balance is, hey, we should bend our knees. And that's very helpful. One foot forward, onto toes, knees bent. And, we're going to lose our balance during class because that's part of what the gift of yoga is, to cause us to not do the ordinary. Let's go forward and backward. Okay, there we go. Lose our balance a little bit there. Great. Okay. And then standing and letting, now think about those feet. The weight goes all the way to the inner edge, lifting up the outer edge of the foot. And the weight goes all the way to the outer edge. We're lifting up the inner edge of the foot. And we're going to go back and forth like that, inner and outer edges of the feet. So we create that action. And then we brace the weight across the ball of the foot evenly. We push the heels out away from each other. We lift up through the toes. We pull back through the fingers. And then we're going to squeeze down against the mat with our toes, grip our fingers to the top part. We'll go back and forth. We're just warming up those feet and those hands, getting them a part of the action instead of letting them be silent partners to us. Spread apart, fingers and toes so they're wide, and squeeze them together so they're narrow. So make our wide and our tight action. And then we're going to move our big toes towards each other. And then pressing down, the big toes, the heels pressed outward, lift the small toes up and down. Those small toes are going to stay down, heels pressed outward, the big toe up and down. And then we push the big toe down, and the little toe down, and the three center toes are coming up and down. Okay. Now maintain that arch, and I'm going to ask you to do that several times during the class. So feel the heels pressing out, the weight across the ball of the foot. But the hips are pulled back now, the spine is lengthening, and as we breathe in, we're going to lift the arms up as we inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to spread our arms out and bring them down. So we want the pace of breathing and the arm movements to become the same thing. And so now I'm going to inhale, taking the arms outward and upward. And exhale, coming down, which might feel quite different, even though it's the same movements, really. We go to the side, inhaling. A little difference now. Exhale across. And again. And across. Okay. And we just repeat, breathing in. What is happening in the feet? Okay. Now keep the breathing deep, but just let the arms rise up. We'll lift up our center, we'll lift up our side, we'll reach up the arm and stretch, inhale. And then exhale, we'll release it. We lift up the center, we lift up the side, we lift up the arm, we stretch, inhale. We exhale, we let it go. And again, the center lift, the side lift, the arm reaching up, but what's happening in the feet? And exhale, just feel it. Lift center, lift side, reach up, and just feel the feet. That's great. Okay, now take hands, interlock them together, press out the palms. We're going to bring the arms and the chest up. As we lift, we're going to spiral slowly, reaching and inhaling. And then exhale, we'll release that. We're going to uplift, spiral slowly, reach, inhale, exhale, and release that. And then we're going to uplift, and as you maintain length, create a comfortable amount of arch backward and inhale. And then exhale, swing the arms free. And then bring up the chest, squeeze back the shoulders, reach back the arms, comfortable stretch, exhale. And then shoulders go forward and deep, inhale. And so we reach and we squeeze back, we exhale. Forward shoulders, inhale. And once again, the reach, the squeeze back, and the exhale. And then we relax those arms apart. So we're warming up. We're going to get the arch of that foot set. Pressing out the feet a little bit, we're going to swing the arms, and we might feel different. But we're now going to isolate to deeper layers. So we lift up through the chest, and we turn our shoulders. We're trying not to move our hips at all. Breathing deeply. We're going to uplift. We're going to turn our hips. We're trying not to move our shoulders at all. Deep breathing. Now push your feet and your knees out, engaging in the outer hips, pulling in your core, lifting up through the chest, but lowering down the shoulders. And now we're set to tilt. Push the hand into the side, begin tilting that direction. And we're going to begin to lift our ribs and our arm up. You don't have to go any further than you want in this side tilt. Take a deep breath. And then exhaling, bring yourself out of that. And then press out the feet again. Pull in the core, the chest is up, the shoulders are down. We push into the leg, we start to make the tilt. Shoulders stay lined up with hips. Lift the ribs, lift the arms, stretch it up, take a breath. And then exhale when we lift ourselves up and come out. And we're going to make a nice wide stance and bend at the knees, but we'll stretch the chest forward so the spine is long. Now softly reach your shoulder across your body, stretching and breathing. And we're going to go the other way, reaching across, stretching and breathing. And we take it to the first side again. And I got to ask you this, what's happening in your feet? How do they feel? You still have an arch? Breathing deep. And we come across the second way and we're breathing very deep. Okay, now we're going to come to center. We're going to shift our weight to one side. And you can stay up high. We're going to stretch the inner thigh. You can also go down lower, but you don't have to touch the floor. You can just find that leverage point that gives you just the right amount of stretch to the inner thigh. What's happening in those feet? Breathe deeply. Let's come up. Let's go the other way. Side two. And then we go back to that first side. Now, if you go to the side and you lift up the outer edge of your foot, you're missing an opportunity to stretch the outside of the leg. So keep that foot down. And then we'll go the other way. Keep that outer edge of that foot down. And I'm going to come to center. I'm going to rest my elbows on my knees, stretching the chest forward and then lifting the hips up to a mild stretch in the back of the legs. You can also let the head and the arms hang down for more of a decompression, or keep the elbows to the knees and just pull the chest forward. Breathing deeply. Now one hand's going to go down and the other shoulder's going to lift up into a twist. Press out to the feet, chest away from hips. You can reach the arm up, breathing nice and deep. Exhale, we're going to go the other way. Press out the feet, chest away from hips, arms stretching up, nice deep breath. Exhale, we're going to come to center. And we're going to bring the hands up on those knees again and just reach across. Nice gentle stretches. Still, I want your awareness to be down in those feet too. to the other side. Okay, now, notice your shoulders are up near your ears. I want you to back the heel of your palm up to the crease of the leg, keeping the shoulders near the ears, but then on one side, begin to straighten the arm more so you have a nice stretch in the spine. Deep inhale. Exhale, that elbow bends, and then the other side, we start to straighten it. We take a deep breath. Exhale, the elbow bends, and then both sides we straighten. We take a deep inhale. And then exhaling, bending elbows, bending knees. Up we go. All right. So we've warmed up, and we're going to do a few rounds of sun salute, but it's very important that all of us modify our activity level to what is an appropriate amount of action in the body, and sometimes you need to reduce your intensity or avoid poses completely if they're too complicated. So let's start, and heels pressed out so the arch of the foot is set, hips are back, spine is uplifted. We breathe in, lifting the arms. Then as we exhale, we grab the elbows. We're folding forward into a bent knee forward bend. You can let the elbows rest on the knees or let the head and the arms hang. You're hanging out here, breathing deeply, swaying side to side if you like. Deep breath. And with this exhale, hands placed, we step the right foot back and we're into lunge, left knee over the ankle. Now, bring up the right hip, find that balance, even balance across the ball of the foot, and heel reaches back, calf stretching. Chest and shoulders pull forward, spine lengthening. Left foot should be holding an arch, and you can leave the hands down with a light pressure, or one or both arms can reach forward. Just take a deep breath in, and then exhaling, let your hands go flat, and step back in the plank, and pull in the abs firmly as your chest reaches forward, and your hips and heels stretch back. Inhale, and then exhaling, knees lower down softly, and hips stretch back until the elbows are all the way down. And here's a great opportunity for us to sway the shoulders to the left and the right. Now, as we start to do this, we might want to limit it because we're going to feel some shoulder action, or we might want to increase it, lifting one shoulder up, lifting that elbow off the floor. And the amount of stretch that you create really should be something that you find pleasant and beneficial. So breathing deeply. Don't just do it more because you could do it more. And let's come forward, shoulders over hips, and we can start to sway the hips side to side. And that could be a very mild action, or with knees closer together, you can go a lot further to the left or a lot further to the right. But really just keep it the amount of action that seems most comfortable. And then I want us to stretch back a little bit. Stretch back, feel the stretch. And then come forward and bring the chin low toward the space of the hands. Now, if you want, you can move backward again, or just go straight forward and into upward dog. Shoulders traveling forward, collarbones lifting as the hips sink. Press hands and top the foot evenly. Lift collarbones, inhale. And then exhale, we're going to move back and into downward dog. So press the palms evenly, lift the hips, pushing the chest toward the thigh. The head comes between the arms. And we're going to gain that balance onto the ball of the foot, letting heels lift and knees bend. Letting hips lift, and just keep pushing the chest toward the thighs, broadening through the shoulders with the pulling toward the hips. Breathe nice and deep. And then on this exhale, we're stepping the right foot forward back into that lunge position, ankle underneath. And then lifting the left hip, balancing the ball of the foot. Heel reaches back, chest and shoulders pull forward. Right foot's going to hold its own arch, and it's a light pressure of the hands, or if you want, one or both arms forward. Deep inhale. And then on exhale, we step forward, feet hip distance, and press into the heels. Bend down into the knees. Belly is tight at inhaling from the squat upward. And exhale. Inhaling again. Exhale, grab elbows, lift hips into the forward bend. But this time the elbows come against the line of the shin, allowing us to pull the shoulders toward the hips and release tension from the neck. We can press into our leg with arms and lengthen the spine. We can push out the feet and the knees and breathe deeply into the upper back. Nice deep breath. And then exhale, hands placed. We're stepping back the left foot, and we're going to go from this lunge into a side angle. So bring down the left heel, bring the right elbow up onto the knee and the left shoulder upward, and the hips should center to the mat, and the right knee moving toward the right edge as we lengthen the right side. Now, the traditional side angle has left shoulder above the right and the left arm reaching forward, and you can do that. Nice, deep inhale breath. And then on the exhale, you could bring the left arm behind the back or keep it reaching forward. And then further, you could take that right arm forward, take a deep breath. And then on the exhale, we'll just go down and into that plank position. Chest forward and hips and heels back, inhaling. And then exhaling softly, lower knees and hips come back and elbows come down. Now, think about sliding the right hand forward and pulling the left hand and shoulder back. And we're just going to slide back and forth a few times. A little bit like what cats often do in their little kneading, biscuit making actions. Back and forth. And then the hands are going to be evenly pressed and we're going to come forward. And again, our idea is to get that chin low toward the hands. But I want you to push the elbows toward each other and then move yourself gently backward, stretching back. So we'll do a couple of these. Elbows squeezing toward each other as we pull forward. Chin moving toward the space of the hands. You can stay high or go lower. And then squeezing elbows together, we move back into the stretch. And then once again, elbows squeezing closer, coming forward, just aiming the chin to the space between the hands. And then we're going to come forward, lifting up and into upward dog. Collarbones lifted, hips sinking, hands and top of the foot pressing evenly. Lifting collarbones, inhale, and then exhaling back and into downward dog. Pressing the palms evenly, chest moving toward thighs and head between the arms. Now, balance the ball to the foot, lifting heels, bend the knees, lifting hips, chest pushing toward the thighs. And make a strong movement of shoulders moving toward hips so your lats engage. Press your hands and elbows toward each other so the pectorals are active. Make a wide space between shoulder blades so serratus anterior is active. And paddle those heels down and up to increase the stretch to the legs. Breathe in deeply. And then on this exhale, we're stepping left foot forward and into lunge. And side angle, right heel down, left elbow on the knee, right shoulder up. Now, hips to the center, left knee to the left. We're getting right shoulder above the left and the traditional right arm forward. Deep inhale. And then on the exhale, you have the option of bringing the right arm behind the back. And then if you like, reaching the left arm forward, inhale. And then on exhale, we step into the forward bend. Press down into the heels, bend at the knees, belly tight, inhale. Lift up. And exhale. All right, now, bring the hands into a palm together position and take a deep breath. And exhale, push down the hands. Inhale, lift the chest up, arch gently back. And then exhale, forward bend. Now we're going to step the right foot back to bring the right knee down, letting the top of the foot rest. I want you to stretch forward, push back the right knee, tighten the seat muscle, and slowly bend the right knee, coming forward, inhaling. And then exhaling, straightening the right leg, moving backward. Left leg is going to straighten. We're going to pull back the front of the left foot, deep inhale. And then coming forward, we're going to step back in our plank position, chest forward, hips and heels back. Bring the knees down and stretch back, breathing deeply, pulling back. Bring those elbows toward each other. Now, we're going to come forward, rest the chin, and lift the elbows up, and just keep moving forward to upward dog. Lift up the collarbones, sink down the hips. Inhaling. And then exhaling, and we're moving back and into downward dog. Deep breathing. And then we're going to step the right foot forward. And the left knee is going to come down, and the top of the foot's going to rest. We're going to come forward, pushing back the left knee, tightening the seat muscle, bending the left knee, inhaling. And then straightening the left leg, we're going to move backward, pulling back the foot, stretching, inhale. And then exhaling, we're going to come forward and step into the forward bend. Press down the heels, belly tight, inhale, arch up and back. And then exhale. Once more, palms together, inhale. Exhale, push down. Inhale, chest up and arching back. Exhale, forward bend. Now the left foot back and the left knee down. And the left hand down. Right elbow on the knee. Lift the hips, twisting toward that right leg. Deep breath. Exhaling. Coming back to center. Right elbow on the knee. Left hand to the hip. Pulling the left shoulder behind the right, and then sinking the hips comfortably, and if you like, the left arm can reach upward, inhaling. And then exhale, placing hands, stepping back in the plank, and then bringing down the knees, stretching backward, and then I want you to come forward, completely flat, pull forward, pushing down the pelvis, and then just arch the chest up. Inhale. Now exhale, pushing down on the forearms, crunch, ribs toward navel, lifting the spine, tucking under the tailbone. And again, move that backward until you're stretching, breathing. And then pressing down the palms, we're coming into downward dog. Lift the hips, chest pushing toward the thighs, breathing deeply. And now it's the left foot stepping forward and the right knee coming down. Weight on the right hand, left hand to the knee. Lift the hips, twisting toward the leg. Deep inhale. Exhaling, coming back to center, left elbow on the knee. Right hand on the hip, trying to pull right shoulder behind the left, and then sinking the hips comfortably forward. If you like, right arm can stretch up. Inhale. And then on exhale, we step into the forward bend. Press heels, bend knees, inhale up and arch back. And then exhale. That was great. So let's take the opportunity with the warmed up structure to re-lengthen that spine. And so we step out feet. We're going to shrug our shoulders up. We're going to bend the knees a little so there's a nice crease in the leg, and place the heel of the palms there. And initially our elbows are bent. And so on the right side, we straighten the arm as comfortably, complete as we can. We take a deep breath. Exhale, elbow bends. And on the left side, we straighten comfortably. We take a deep inhale. Exhale, that elbow bends. And then both sides, we push, we stretch, we straighten. Deep breath. And exhaling, bending elbows, bending knees, and coming up from that. Right, good.